Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com and Loy Machedo TV. Today is the 26th of January 2013. It's around 5 a.m. in the morning. I just finished reading the book, The Brand Called You. This is by Peter Montoya and Tim Vandehey. Vandehey? I hope I got that right. Anyway. So this is the book, The Brand Called You. Now, this is the second book by Peter Montoya that I happened to purchase, and personally, it is very much like The Personal Branding Phenomenon, which was the first book that I happened to read of his. Now, much like the predecessor, this book is more or less similar to this book, but with three major differences. Number one, first and foremost, he had a lot of to-do lists in this book, a lot of things that you have to do, a lot of things that assignments that he would give you almost each and every chapter. And you know, whether you did it, if you did it, you would definitely see results. Whether it would be positive or negative, well, that's a big question. The second one is the examples cited in this book were not like the ones presented in this book. In this book, he spoke about Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, then Michael Jordon, Mother Teresa, all the M's. But in this, the second book, he spoke about people like, what their names, Mike Parker, Dr. Laura Schlessinger, then Kendra Todd, you know, people I've never heard of. So, okay, it was something different. Then the content in this book was really tight and condensed, so he didn't waste too much of space on fluff. Now, however, given all these points, I still wasn't very impressed with this book. Now, there are two main reasons for it. The first, the three main reasons. First and foremost, I mean, you know, there was too much of information presented in this book. Too much of information. Most of it was unnecessary. Like for example, he's asked us to print a 1 year's supply of stationery. Now, why would you need to do that? Say postcards, and then he says print. Send some of your most expensive brochures to some of your best clients, or your best brochures to your best clients. And why would I want to do that? The second part was there was a strong confusion between sales, marketing, and branding. I think he mixed all these three terms together, and he just wasted space. Even in terms of the information that I was speaking to you about, he dedicated 29 pages to one chapter called Branding Channels. I just flipped through them and I didn't find them of any use, at least for me. Then, most important point was the book was absolutely boring. Now, if I find a book boring, I cannot read it. I just, you know, struggled to read this book. Then I kept flipping the pages. Finally, you know, I hated it. So now the moment of truth. Would I recommend this book, The Brand Called You? No, absolutely not. For someone who's new to branding, yes, maybe you need to read this book, but someone like me, absolutely not. Someone who's running a business, yes, you might, a small business, you might find this useful, but to the rest of the population, I would say, no, this is seriously outdated. So the book is useful for a small business owner or for someone who's new to branding, sales, and marketing. You might find this useful, but however, for professionals and people who are hardcore into business, this book is absolutely a no-no. So what would I give this book? I would give this book a rating of 3 out of 10, and I wouldn't recommend you know, the people like me to buy this book. So this is what I felt. And finally, last if not the least, if any more books by Peter Montoya, I don't think I'd purchase them. And you know, just look at this. Robert Allen and Mark Victor Hansen, they keep recommending this book, and even here, Mark Victor Hansen has recommended the book. Even in this, Robert Allen has recommended the book. Both the books are a waste. Mark Victor Hansen, I think, is just supporting all his friends, and they are this tightly knit group of buddies. So, my dear friends, whenever you buy a book, if you get these recommendations at the back, check it out. Whether both these guys are like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Just make sure that you don't waste your money. So this is Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com and Loy Machedo TV. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you at today's seminar on branding. Goodbye for now.